How have you been,
Doing
Miguel?
good.
It's been a while.
I know, man. It's been a very long time since we've seen each other in person,
Yeah,
which was, I think, in Delaware, if I
yeah,
remember right. Was when you were
yeah,
doing the radio program out there,
yeah,
and then I think we did an interview. Was it maybe 2 years ago, something like that?
yeah. You came down to the to Delaware and then stayed at my apartment for a couple of days, and then
And we had a lot of fun. But I want to tell you one thing that stuck out to me is the first time I ever watched Deadpool. Do you remember that?
yeah, yeah,
I don't, everyone found y'all found I had never watched Deadpool, and now it's like a tradition in my family that every year for Christmas we watch Deadpool and Deadpool 2, and then now with the new one coming out, we're getting ready to go see the third one. I'm like, it's one of my favorite movies, and you guys were like appalled that I had not watched it yet, and this is my first time seeing Deadpool. It was a good time. It was a good time out there.
yeah. I mean, I do miss it, but I mean, I do like to be back here in Kansas City.
Yeah, I bet closer to home. Are
Hmm.
you doing radio stuff as well now? Or
Yeah,
doing the podcast is the main
doing
focus? You are?
doing both.
Nice.
It's right. Well, right now it's playing in Delaware till
Oh,
August.
okay. So you're managing it from here, but it's going in Delaware.
Yeah,
Nice.
I only
Yeah.
have it only for the summer.
Okay. Oh my God. My do you know what yerba mate is? Are you familiar with this?
No.
No, it's like this tea, I believe, from Argentina, and my 10-year-old has fallen in love with it. And so he just cooked me up a batch. It's pretty potent tea. It's like really
Oh,
strong. And I wasn't quite ready. That's why I made that face. I was
oh,
like, "Whoa!"
oh.
He was. He said he'd try to make it less bitter for me, but yeah, he's become like a yerba mate professional.
Well, that's kind of neat, I guess. Playing
So I
that
might
with.
start talking faster and faster as I keep drinking more and more of this. And it comes with a cool little metal straw, which is nice.
Oh, so I did watch that little clip of you were talking to this guy. It was a random clip I saw online, and you were talking about Daniel, and you're saying things. I was like, oh well, this is just interesting. It's a different Daniel. It's the Daniel Cole. You were talking about Daniel
Right.
Cole, and there was something you were talking to a guy. I think he was doing. You guys were doing an interview or a chat or
Yep.
something, and you're trying to work on
Yeah,
a song.
that was Brett Berquin, and he was a guest on my podcast, Live and Create podcast. Um, but he had kind of turned the tables on me and started asking questions about the band because he knew we were writing collectively, and it's something that their band had just gotten into. So the previous iterations of Run With It, a lot of times it was just me by myself, like writing 50, 60 songs at a
Mhm.
time. And then I'd send it to everybody and they kind of put, little tweaks here and there. But overall, I wrote the music myself. Where this iteration is like Run With It 4.6 or 4.8, maybe is what we'll call it. In this iteration, the last year, we've been getting together and writing. I'm still writing a ton of my own, but we get together every week and hash out songs together and writing it from the ground up together. Like sometimes I come in with ideas, um, and but then from there we basically wrestle with each other. It feels like wrestling sometimes to figure out what the best idea is that we can create. In that particular clip, I was just talking about Daniel. Um, Basically, there's sometimes where we all sit in the living room. We write in this like loft
Mhm.
apartment in downtown Kansas City, and we're sitting in the living room with acoustic guitars, and all five of us are going back and forth like this is a good line, no, this is a good line. We start, and sometimes you fall in love with your ideas, right? The first idea you
Yeah,
had, you're like, this is
yeah,
brilliant because I'm brilliant, you know?
yeah, okay.
And, but then someone else, you know, for example, in that clip was I loved the idea I had, but Daniel kept, you know, he's pacing through the living room and thinking, and he's like, I don't like it. It's not there yet. It's not there. I was like, what's there not to like? And I'm trying to like convince him basically uh, that my idea is better. And then he said something else. I didn't like it, and nobody else liked it. But we all, like, everyone else wasn't settled either. So we just kept going back and forth, you know, try this idea, try that idea. And then all of a sudden, Daniel just sang some part. I wish I could remember at the moment what it was. He sang a line and everybody in the room stopped. We like perked up. We're like, actually, that's it. And I had to admit my idea was not as good as that new idea that just popped out of there. So it's been really fun, the collective writing process, to essentially build something bigger than any one of us could do on our own. And another part of the process, we work with outside people as well, work with producers who speak into what we're doing. Got a good friend named Josh Gleave. He's been a friend of the band for years and has helped us significantly throughout the years as a producer, as a songwriter, and just as a friend in general, giving guidance and wisdom. And so Josh, then we have two songs dropping soon, one in August, one in September. And Josh has been amazing at helping us craft those songs. Basically, we wrestle out everything, all the details, all the sonic scapes, and then we sent it to him. And then we went down to Nashville, and he
Yeah,
coordinated all the studio time, and he helped us take, you know, we got about like 80% there, and then he'd helped us take that last 20%, which is a very crucial 20%, where he basically took our ideas and made them larger than life, is what it feels like, to where we were like, after we got done working there, we're like, oh damn, this is amazing, you know. So he's been speaking into our process as well. But that collective idea has been really fun, and it's been humbling, you know, for me, and in some ways freeing, because I think before I always felt the pressure, the full pressure to do all the things, you know, get all the right lyrics and get all the right chord progressions, all the right music. Where now, you know, where days that I'm lacking, like there was one day I was just in such a bad mood, I wanted to even leave the writing session, but it was actually Daniel was there and his girlfriend Frankie, she's also a brilliant artist. You know, they were there and they're like, no, sit down, let's start working on this song. And they kind of forced me to stay. And but then they had such great input where I was almost along for the ride, and just every once in a while saying, ooh, I like that line, you know. That's And we ended up finishing a song. What's that song called? It is Darkest Days or something like that. It's not out yet. It's one of the ones we are thinking we're going to release in 2025. uh, but yeah, it was nice because even though I wasn't 100%, you know, we were able to lean into a group together in that collaborative process.
did you get somebody new for the band? Because I've been seeing pictures of this random guy. Just
Yes, so we expanded the band. So right now, Daniel and I are the only two members from the era that you know.
mm,
Um, and then when we were in Delaware, and then we added a lead guitarist, which is Cody Ryan Stapleton. And that was one thing I've always wanted, because I'm more of a vocalist and a songwriter. I don't call myself a guitarist, even though I play guitar. I literally like feed my family by playing guitar, but I still don't think of myself as a guitar. Just because when I see someone like Cody play, like Lee, I can hold down, you know, rhythm chords and just kind of chunk
yeah.
chords. I can do that. But when I see someone like Cody play lead guitar, I'm like, that's a real guitarist. That's what I mean when I say a guitarist. And he's brilliant, brilliant guitarist, but also just an incredible person. As he was trying out and taking a look at the band, and we were trying to get a vibe for him, one of the things that stuck out to us beyond his playing ability is he basically, we were like, he's confident enough to be humble, was the term that I think I had said one night. And it's like, you ever meet someone who is they seem humble, but they're really just like down on themselves. They
Yeah.
have no confidence.
Yeah.
And then you meet some people who are just way overly confident and they maybe need to get knocked down a few notches, where he just exudes this confidence about himself, but he's always inquisitive and always open to learn and grow and has this humility about him. I think that's an incredible trait that you just can't really fake, I think. So yeah, just as a human being and as a player, it's been incredible to add him into the mix. And he's just taken the show to a whole new level, because whenever it came time for solos and I had to do all those like riffy things, and I mean, I tried my best. I tried my best, but it wasn't the best. And then we added Matt Muckenthaler as a bass guitarist, and we had tried several new basses out, and he basically boiled to the top for us. And it was funny. His first show with us was we took him on the road with us to a show. It was just out of town. It was just a one-off date on the road,
Mm.
and he was playing like big old stage, and it was all click track. It was like, because our show, we do click tracks and cues. It's all very regimented and very like we're we're trying to go for a pro level, is what we're working towards. And he had never been part of any of those kind of things before, but he just he stepped up and really excelled. And it was funny too, because he said when we drove away from that gig, he was like, God, what did he say? He goes, I made more playing this gig with you guys than I think I've made in music my entire life. And we were like, well, you're in the place where we're trying to figure this out. We're trying to figure out that money piece too. So it was cool to see him feel like he got compensated well for the work he had put in. But I
Mm.
remember on that day, we were on the stage playing, and we still didn't know each other super well. We had kind of just been vibing each other out, and I was playing guitar and singing. And while I was doing that, he walks up to me and he hit a note on his bass and let it ring out. And then he slapped my guitar. Oh shit! I'm spilling mate all over my
Oh no. Oh
my desk.
jeez.
He slapped my guitar. He like strung the chords. Like,
Uh-huh.
basically, can you cuss on the podcast, or do you prefer to keep it more PC? Like,
Well,
uh, I'll keep it PC. He was just messing with me essentially, and he started like just strumming my guitar with like all these nonsense sounds. And I looked at him and I just started laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So, and then he goes on and plays his part. So later on, I came up to him while he was playing like some bass line that was really important. I just started messing with his bass guitar. And we've talked about that since then. He was like, that's when I knew I could be in this band. Whereas like, you didn't take yourself too seriously. Like, he's like, I know you're serious about your music, but you don't take yourself too seriously. Like, you had fun. And I was like, and I told him that was a moment for me where I'm like, oh, he can have fun on stage, because you want to sound great, but you also want to
yeah.
connect with the crowd. And I think connecting with a crowd happens when you're having fun. And then last, we added Paul Size. And Paul is our keyboardist, background vocalist. Um, he's been a great friend. He runs his own band as well, fronts it, and comes in to run with it as our background vocalist and keyboardist. He plays guitar with us. This upcoming week, we're going on the road to Iowa, and he's playing bass guitar because Matt is out of town. He's one of those guys who literally can play every single thing. Like every single thing. One time Daniel wasn't able to make it to a gig, so he jumped on drums. We knew in advance that it wasn't like Daniel canceled last minute. Like, Daniel
Mm.
knew there was this one gig he couldn't make, and instead of hiring somebody and teaching him all of our music again, Paul was like, "Hey, I'll jump on the drums," and Matt held down the bass, and we just tracked out the keys parts. And yeah, he's a great help too from the business end, because he really gets marketing, he really gets branding, and really gets like the behind the scenes business pieces, like where he's connecting us with different agents and helping position us to grow the business side of what we're trying to do. So yeah, that's the team. We call it the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Paul is our Casey. Um,
Mm.
and so yeah, I think we already know what we're going to be wearing for Halloween.
Well, that's kind of cool. Get all turtle outfits, and masks. Just
Yeah, I think it'll be brilliant.
Um, but I do love the song you did a while back ago. It was called "I Need the Light."
Oh yeah,
That's a favorite of mine.
thank you, man. Yeah, that's a great song, man. We toured a lot playing that song.
But that,
And I still like it. I still enjoy playing it. I'm trying to think on that one. Yeah, that was a song for us that it took years to write. Some songs we write like in a day, and this was one of those
um,
ones that took years to write where I was up late one night with this like grand piano and I found that chorus, the I need a light chorus, and it just stuck with me. And then several years came by. I never finished it, but it always was going around in my head. And then eventually we tried a verse. I tried to arrange it one way, and it just didn't work. And it kind of put it on the shelf. It basically that just happened over and over again, where I would try a version of it, put it on the shelf, try a version of it, put it on the shelf, and then Run With It comes together. And our bass player at the time, Clint Velasquez, he was one of the founding members of
mhm,
Run With It. Um, I was singing the chorus. We were working things out for the song, and something wasn't still wasn't clicking. And then he made like a small suggestion and like basically changed a beat on the end of the chorus and all. It was one of those moments where it was like, oh, everything fits now. And then that took us in there. And then Josh Glee was the one, our producer. He took it from like this acoustic rock vibe, and then he had it in all those synths and all that. Like it was right. It came out, just after Radioactive had came out, so it was modeled in a lot of ways from that. What do they call that? Dubstep kind of synthy thing.
mhm.
And when we dropped that in, I was like, "Ooh, this is pretty nice." So we
Yeah,
enjoy that. I enjoy when the drop comes in.
yeah, yeah. I'm working on some new
But thank you,
music.
man.
Oh, you're welcome. Working on some
Nice.
new music as well. So it's in the
That's
process.
cool.
I
Where do you
did.
feel like you're?
Well,
Oh, good.
I did release a new song called "Friendship" that I did all by myself.
Oh,
Like
nice.
I produced it all by myself.
Very cool.
But
What does writing look like for you?
it's now a kind of it's like I had all the songs that from college just stuck in my phone. So I picked this song out, "Friendship," and then it was mostly about what I'm dealing with the friendships these days because they're all kind
Right.
of out, like having issues, and some just are not are the greatest to be around.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
But um, but it's hard. It's hard already getting new songs out. It's just because most of the songs that I'm working on are like I'm redoing them or just doing acoustic versions of them.
Yeah.
Because I already have the full length album out from college.
So trying to do a different kind of arrangement.
Yeah. And I've been working on getting a couple of people on some of the songs, so that's kind of working out great
Nice, man.
in
Very
Kansas
cool.
City. So, and just working on the music, but it's hard because I feel like I don't have any new songs out besides the ones on my phone. But it's hard to
Right.
rewrite something new.
Do you do like do you have a daily writing practice that you work towards, or is it more like as you feel inspired, you kind of sing into your phone?
Yeah, sometimes I just write it down. Like I
Right.
no, sometimes I get dreams and I write it down. Like like the song "Dream" that came along, and that's already recorded because I did that one in college, and that one was a real dream I had, and I just wrote it on a piece of paper or on the phone and did it in all one night. But
That's
then
cool.
and then the other ones are just would rather have something new, something different. But my sound is
Right.
way different than like the new song that I just posted on Spotify. Friendship is way different. It has a different sound to it. It has a lot of
What
beats in
inspired
it.
that?
Um,
Is there a particular artist that's inspired you?
no, it's just something came up. I said, "Well, this
Just something boiling in your head and you
is
had to let it out.
yeah, yeah,
Well, one thing I've been experimenting with um, is doing like this. Well, J. Cole had talked about this. He's probably one of my favorite rappers. And he talked about reading some other book that he didn't remember the name of, um, that challenged all writers to first thing when they wake up in the morning to just write, like literally roll out of bed and start writing. So I've been this like throughout this whole year, I've been working towards that. I got most days this week, to be honest. This morning, I did not get it because, yeah, I had a late show, came in, had to get up early, but it's been an interesting exercise. And I don't think any of the things I wrote are going to be songs by any means, but it's been an interesting exercise because what I've noticed on the days that I do it, I notice my brain looking and observing, throughout the day a little
um,
differently, a little like looking for connections in words and looking for connections in images and ideas. So it's almost like priming a creative pump in a way. So I just been doing about like 5 minutes. My office is right across from my bedroom. So I literally like roll out of bed, put my glasses on and come in and start writing. It's been an interesting uh, discipline to do that. And then as far as like writing songs itself, I've done seasons where I've just said, I'm going to write for an hour a day and just keep writing. And as I finish songs, like put that in the hard drive and then keep writing an hour a day till the next song's done. And then I've
yeah,
had other ones where
yeah.
I'm going crazy all day writing a ton of them. But yeah.
It's a process, I guess. I mean, watching,
Hmm.
trying to find good movies to write about is mostly something
Yeah.
I'm very interested in. I used to do that most of the time, but there's not any good movies out to write songs about.
I, it's funny. I've been watching shows more, like what's the one? God, it's not Fortnite, but it's the one based off the video game that just came out. Oh, what's that series? Fallout. Have you seen that series?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a great one. And I felt like it was very it's so sci-fi. I find sci-fi very very inspiring, like kind of bends my mind enough to see different creative ideas.
yeah.
Um that's been a really good one. What's your favorite movie? What's been the most inspiring movie you've actually watched?
Um, well, I haven't really watched a movie recent in a while. Not, I
Yeah.
mean, but Twister is. I really want to see Twister, the new one. The new one's coming out, and I think that would be a kind of cool kind of. I have Spaceship already out, and a lot of people say, "Oh, that would be great to get that out." Like that's a good for something about the I don't know the the just the world or something. I don't know, but I mean, there's
Yeah.
so much songs I could do, but I do like a lot of horses, and I watch a lot of Heartland. So I mean, it's family and just horses. But
Right. Like horses, like you work with horses?
no, it's not just like it's called Heartland. It's mostly like a family show.
Okay.
It's a series.
Oh, it's a show. Okay, sorry. I somehow I was thinking you were talking about like work, like you were doing like working with horses, like
No,
on a
no.
ranch. And I was like, I did not know that about you.
No. I wouldn't. I don't think I would ever do that, but I mean, I do like watching it.
I watched Tulsa King recently with Sylvester Stallone and really enjoyed that one. And I just discovered it and found out they had put it on pause for a few years, and but they got the next season coming out in the fall. So I started watching it at the right time. But other than that, I'm just, as I said before, I'm pretty excited about the third Deadpool coming out. That's going to be amazing. I'm hoping I don't get disappointed by it, but or I rewatch John Wick.
Well, I mean, it's exciting. But I mean, it's. I mean, I would love to get a song out, and I would like to write a song with somebody, but don't know who I would want to write it with. That's the
Yeah,
hard part. Trying to find a lot of people. I mean, I know a lot of people in Kansas City, but I don't know if they'll want to do it.
right.
So,
Yeah, sometimes that can be hard to figure out collaborations and everything. That's what's nice about being in a band. It gets built in. That's you got to start a band, and then you got people built in to write
yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah. I guess I need a guitarist or somebody. I mean, I know I used to play guitar, but I'm not that great. But
What other instruments do you play?
just spoken word. That's a, mostly now.
Nice. No, that's cool
But
though. That's really cool.
and I just try to get people to play the guitar for me. That's about it. Or just do it all digital.
Yeah, it is crazy what is possible now with the digital world. The sounds you can get, it's insane. I know some people who have put out pro level songs and they released it with their band, and the drums are all digital as well. Like it sounds like live drums. It's not like programmed drums, but like it sounds exactly like a live drum.
Hmm.
And I think that is a really hard thing to emulate. And now, if you know what you're doing, you can get some incredible sounds digitally. It's wild.
Well, I do send out my songs to my friends and they check it, like say if they're good or not. So that's the only way
Nice.
to get it okay if I should put it out there.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, that's how our producer is, where there's times he's like, this song, I don't know why you like this song because this is not good. You need to fix this, and this. I think it's good to have that kind of feedback as well. Helps you grow.
Well, that's how the friendship song came along. I sent it to my friend that did work with me in college, and he said you should put this out. I think it needs it needs to be out. So I guess it was that
Nice.
good. So I
That's cool,
mean,
man. That's really cool.
I mean, I like the song. I people thought it was going to be sad, but no, it's not sad. It's just telling the story. All my stuff is telling the story,
Right.
and it's mostly my speaking. It's not any singing really. So
Doing the spoken word vibe.
yeah. Well, I did have some songs that were singing when I was in college, but I kind of said, forget this. I need more speaking. So,
That was more your strength.
yeah, yeah. Well, I used to sing, but it's not that good now because I don't have that large voice like I used to have back in the day.
Right. What kind of stuff did you sing?
Well, when I was in high school, I felt like I was powerful. My voice was so loud. You could hear it from the other room.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know.
You're
Now
like,
it's
where'd it go?
just, yeah, where'd it go? I mean, it's not the same, but
Yeah.
I'm trying my best. I do like podcasting the most because I get to talk to a lot of cool people,
Right.
and I've been talking
How
to
often are you doing the podcast now?
mostly try to do it mostly every day.
Wow, that's awesome.
I try to do have a days that are scheduled that are my free days so that I don't have to I can have some rest and then get
Right.
back get back to it. So I have mostly days booked, already booked for new episodes. And then my biggest one that I had was Alex Johnson. She's a artist and actress, child actress. Um she came to Kansas City over Mother's Day weekend, and she came all the way out from Canada to release her album called
Dang.
Seasons. And
Okay.
how I found her was I used to watch her on TV.
That's really cool.
So
So I imagine that was kind of like a moment. You're like, oh, I get to actually talk to this like person I grew up watching.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was my first
That's
show.
pretty cool.
It was my first show to see her play and the band that was opening up for her. Microwave car microwave, whatever the name of the band was called. Um,
Band names.
have you heard of them?
No, I haven't. I just there's some band names now are just so wow. I'm not saying I mean Run With It's a dumb band name too. Like I just it's so hard to name your band anymore.
And it was like, all right, all
We
right.
are microwave cart oven or something,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just the names keep going and going.
I don't
That's like
know.
Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
I don't
Are
know
you
where.
familiar with them?
No, are they new in
Yeah,
Kansas?
no, they're not. They've been around for a bit now. Um, they're an incredible band, but yeah, like that's their name, Rainbow Kitten Surprise. And when you listen to their music, you're like, this name doesn't. I don't get it, but it's memorable. That is one thing. From
Mm.
the first time I heard their band name, I did not forget it. So maybe that's the genius of the whole thing. Yeah, check them out. They're an incredible band, Rainbow Kitten Surprise. They have a song called Cocaine Jesus that is stellar. That's the first song that grabbed me. And then I started diving in.
Oh, all right, right. Well, I guess it was just a night at the record bar with tons of bands. Also,
Uh,
I haven't been to a show in for a long time, so that show is the most incredible show at the record bar. Alex
hmm,
Johnson playing from Canada, and then you have all these other bands, but every band and all the bands that came out to the show they're supporting each other. I've never seen that in Kansas City in like a
mm-hmm.
event. Like none of the bands
Interesting.
supporting each other, and it was just
Huh.
and like people knew each other, and I guess that's how I found out about the Rhino, and they
Right.
um and I already have a benefit concert already booked, so um
That's cool.
so I'm excited for that event. That's
When's that happening?
August 29th,
Nice.
and I'm also working with um the 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 Midwest Music Foundation.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we did one of their things just off South by Southwest a few years back. Some cool people in there. But yeah, that's interesting that you hadn't seen that before because I feel like the younger generations, like the newer artists coming up in Kansas City, seem to be incredibly supportive of each other. That's one thing has been a pleasant I guess, surprised as we stepped back into the scene a few years back, where I felt like previously it wasn't very supportive. Um, and but then now, yeah, this I just feel like some of the newer bands and newer artists that are popping up. Uh, there's so many, like being at Boulevardia, you would just see so many other bands coming backstage and then staying for other people's, shows, those kind of things, supporting each other, which is cool to see and refreshing.
I mean, it's kind of it. It felt like they did that when supporting, like when Alicia was around, but I that was the only time I saw like a lot of people coming to see her play. I mean, that was
Yeah.
tons of people, but I mean, it's just it's way different. I guess maybe COVID kind of did something, brought back new places, and more
made people
people.
care Made people care a little bit more.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, what kind of have you worked on anything new?
Yeah, like I said, we have two new songs coming out. Uh, it's it's going it's We're shifting more and more. Our sound is getting closer, I would say, to like the Killers kind of vibe, like really, especially adding Cody, the different guitar lines that he's put in, and the heavy synths with Paul, and super dancey beats now.
Mm-hmm.
And we got our first one. It's Night Watch. It comes out in August. I can't remember the exact date, August 13th or 14th, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, it's going more towards, a lot of our songs have been very like pointed, uplifting, kind of like motivational songs,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. And that's a lot of who I am. I mean, like most of my days are spent listening to like books, like motivational books or leadership books, or those kind of things.
Yeah, yeah.
But as we started writing, Rick Rubin in his book, I think it's The Creative Act or The Creative Way, he talked about an artist being a prism, and how when you shine a light through a prism, you can get all sorts of different colors. And as you move the prism around, it'll reflect differently. And that really hit me, because even though I am like, there is this big part of me that's very driven and hustle culture and motivational, all that kind of thing. It's like there's a whole lot of other parts of me as a artist and as a person that I would like to get out there. And all the band really connected with that. So we basically have put everything on the table that we'll write about. So Night Watch is coming from this perspective of basically being stuck in the party life and drug culture, and how it starts to just put you on the spiral around. And it's the story of somebody navigating that through essentially like New York City and what that looks like. And so that was a story that each one of us, not that exact story is not like true to us specifically, but we found ourselves in pieces of that story as we wrote it together, and we're hoping other people connect with it as well. But it's very, very dancey, very like some heavy. We even have some like a '90s rock breakdown in the middle of it, and then get back to the dance part.
Oh.
It's a fun one. It's a fun time. I can't wait to play it live. We're gonna play it live for the first time, August 23rd at Tin Roof. We're gonna do that one there. Then we have a song called Ghost that comes out in September. Or Ghost Like You is what it's called. And essentially it's about a toxic relationship that you should get out of, but you kind of like it a little bit, and you might stay a little
Mm.
longer. And it's the story essentially of that. And again, it's a very like synth rock, upbeat, dancey thing, as you follow someone essentially going through this haunted house of a ghost trying to chase them. And yeah, that one's going to be really fun to do live too. That one we're going to play for the first time as well on August 23rd. So
Now
it's going to
that
be a
you
fun night.
say that you now you're saying there is some songs that I've been writing. It's been freaking in this house, I'll tell you that. I have like like creatures coming out of the universe, like in the middle of the night, and I write it down. There's a song called I don't know. It's just a weird name, but it's about ghosts. It's crazy. I don't know. Sometimes I see ghosts flying around in my house. It freaks me out, but I let
So
them.
you're experiencing some weird haunting shit or
Yeah,
stuff. Sorry about that.
yeah, yeah. So I mean,
That's
there's a song I wrote it, and there is another one that had Troubled Nights on the old album, and I brought that one back, but it's there's another one, but I mean it's just crazy. I don't know. I don't know if it's my father coming back from the dead that's just coming
interesting.
to see me. I mean, I've seen like a few little creatures flying around a couple months ago,
That's
but they left and then they never
really
came back. But sometimes they do. I mean, if I talk about it more, I guess they'll come back. Sometimes I see children in
you're
this
like,
house. I don't know who it is, though.
really?
Yeah, it's kind of freaky.
That's wild. It's funny because I don't really. I guess I don't really believe in like the spiritual realm in a lot of ways, but there are a lot of things in life that are really unexplainable as well. So, and I know people have had weird experiences. People that I know, people that I trust, and they've told me their experiences. And I'm like, yeah, I have no idea what that could be, right? Like,
Yeah,
and I when I was a kid, I was convinced our house was haunted growing up, like 100% convinced that it was haunted. Even to the point where when my mom and my sister weren't home one day, I tried to negotiate with the ghosts. I like was talking out loud to them because I wanted to basically let them know like you guys can stay here, just don't mess with my mom and my sister. I was probably like 10 or whatever at this time, like silly 10-year-old like saying this, but that's how
and
convinced I was, where I was like seriously talking to him. I swore I saw things at night and like an arm reached across my
I did too.
doorway and
I did too.
all.
That's what they
Yeah.
do. They sit in front of the door. Well, that the door is open because I have a wheelchair now. So I that's another thing that you don't know. I'm now stuck in a
Oh, okay.
wheelchair. That's hard for me to get
I'm
around to.
sorry, man.
It's
I bet.
it's it before I left college, I I moved into this apartment, and then I was I went in the bathroom, and then somehow my leg went out on me. My ankle
Oh man.
broke, and I just then I was in the hospital for maybe like a week, and then
Dang.
had to get a lot of surgeries. But I mean, my legs are not the same like they used to be. So
Right. So are you still able to walk, but you need the assistance of the wheelchair, or are you bound basically to the wheelchair?
bound. Well, I can go
Oh,
up. I
okay.
can go to
Okay.
the bathroom, but that's about it. And take a shower,
Gotcha.
but I can't. I can't walk like I used to. I mean, I can
Man.
if I have somebody behind me, but
Right.
I don't
How
know.
long has that been?
Well, well, it was when I left college. It all started
And I'm trying to remember. I can't
because
remember exactly
you
when
saw
you
me
came back.
with a cane. You saw me with the cane when I was in college,
Right.
and then that after that, when I moved back here, I kind of broke my ankle. Random. It just happened.
Mm,
And then my whole body and then I found out I have a health condition, and then I don't know, it just kind of screwed me.
that's a lot of that's a lot of heavy stuff.
And there's a song about that too, so there you go.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that creative force can help us deal with things and issues. What has been, if you don't mind me asking, going through that transition, what's been the hardest part of for you? Um, in that transition of going from being able to walk, but and then being bound to the wheelchair?
Um, well, it's hard to get around. It also m- like music venues. That's the hardest
Mm,
because some music venues don't have lift chairs, and the I before I was gonna do the benefit concert. I wanted the benefit concert at the the mini bar, and the mini bar
hmm.
doesn't have a lift.
Yeah. Yeah, there'd be no way to get up there.
And I didn't know anything about that. Nobody told me that there was no lift.
Right.
But the other bar at the I think it was the I don't know, there's another bar that has a lift, but the mini bar
Hmm.
doesn't. Then I was kind of screwed for a while,
Yeah.
and then somebody told me, the lady from the Midwest Music Foundation that we were working with, she told, "Oh, I noticed you're in the wheelchair. They don't have a wheel. They don't have anything the at that bar to get you up there." And I said,
Yeah.
"Well, that's something we're gonna have to change." So I was kind of,
Right. Can't have the person throwing the concert not be able to go to the concert. It's
yeah.
kind of a
So
Where are you having it now?
the rhino.
Oh, the Rhino. Yeah, because if you didn't say that, I was going to suggest them because yeah, it's all one level. Um, in there, it seems like and their bathrooms are designed well too. They're very open to where I think it seems accessible like all around, which is cool.
So that was the other exciting thing that I changed it to that. But yeah, it was hard
Mm.
to get to book to that place because not a lot of the people that do the booking. They're very slow at their booking. I mean,
Uh,
they don't take a look at
Took it a
their,
while to get locked in.
yeah, yeah,
Honestly, a lot of clubs are like that in general because I think they're just usually the person booking is also like the bar manager and this and that. So it's like they're doing like 50 things. It's been my experience. And I play a lot of venues with my solo stuff now. With the band, we're doing more festivals and like gigs like that where usually it's more dedicated person. But
hmm
yeah, I do with my solo stuff. I still do a lot of venues and like bars and stuff. And yeah, you like last night, in fact, I left the bar and there's a guy who's like the manager of the place, but he's also the guy who books all the music and does this and this. And so it's like sometimes you got to send extra texts just because he probably had 17 things on the list that day,
yeah.
and I was at the bottom of it because he's got other things to do.
I mean, the only person that was really good was
I can't drink.
the Steve from the record bar. He was the best. I mean, he answers his.
Is it Tulipana?
I, I think so,
Yeah.
and he keeps on answering those emails. I mean, he's good at it. He doesn't leave you on the hang.
Right.
So
But the Rhino's a cool spot, man. I really like that place. For a while, it was like a home away from home. Um, and I just live too far now, and I'm gigging so much it's hard to get in there. One time I had a gig across the street, and so at the end of my show, I got to pop over there and see some folks at the Rhino that I hadn't seen in a while, which was really cool. So it was like perfect timing. I like looked at my watch and it's like, oh, I'm done early. And I looked over and I'm like, there's a bunch of people there. Let me go check it out. So yeah, I think it's a good spot. What is the fundraiser for? Did I miss that? Did you already
oh
tell me and I just missed that?
no, I'm raising money for the Midwest Music Foundation.
Oh, for the Midwest. Okay, I thought they were just partnering with you for yet
No,
another cause, but it's
no.
for okay. That's really cool, man.
I mean, I used
And
to.
who's playing that show?
Oh, the Billy Bats, Amble Hunt,
Okay. I have heard of that one. I've not heard of Billy Bats.
and
So,
Brody Buster.
oh, nice. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah,
I just saw today he posted that he's celebrating 1 year sober now, which was really cool. That's got to be a hard feat. You know, I know I have several
yeah.
people in my life that decide to get completely sober, and you know, that's a tough journey. So it's cool that he's on that path.
And he both the Billy Bats and Brody do rock the house, so they'll be kind of they're going to be shaking the house down. That's how the
Nice.
uh the Billy Bats were the first last month or last year.
I have to check him out.
They're
I'll
like
definitely have to
they're
check him out.
blues, jazzy, rock.
Okay.
They're like Brody Buster, I would say, but a little bit different. Because Brody
Yeah.
likes the the his harmonica and his guitar or whatever he
It's kind of his
plays.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of been his thing for a really long time. I remember seeing what was it, Blues Brothers 2000 or something? Is that the movie he's in playing harmonica?
Oh, he's in the movie.
I think. Yeah. Here, Brody Buster Blues Brothers. I think it's Blues Brothers. Yeah, Blues Brothers 2000. There's this kid in there playing um, harmonica, and it's him as a little kid.
Oh well,
It's pretty cool. I didn't really. So you didn't know that? You have to go check that
I
out.
didn't
You got a
know
movie to watch now.
I didn't know that one, but I knew that he was on Jay Leno. That's on from back in the
Oh,
day.
that I didn't know, but that makes sense. It makes sense if he's in a Blues Brothers movie that he continues that trajectory to
I mean,
Jay Leno and all those other spots. So,
he's a popular person in Kansas City, I guess. He's famous in
oh
that
yeah,
way. In that way.
I would say most people who know music in this city would know who he is, just because he's been around a very long time, has some great accolades. I've only met him once though. My band in college opened for him, um, or was it Run With It? I can't even remember now. One of the bands I've been in, we opened like it was like a frat party through a big music festival, and you know we were, you know, they were backstage getting high right before we jumped on stage, kind of deal. And
Yeah.
that was like the first time I met him. He's like, they're, you know, they're friendly, they're offering things, and I was like, I can't perform when I'm doing that because I just go into a different world. So,
Well,
but yeah, he was super
yeah.
nice. He was super nice.
I mean, I saw him um on my birthday last year, and we went to. I always go to the um BB barbecue most all the
Hmm.
time, and he's always playing there every on the. And so the last time he played "Happy Birthday to Me" on my birthday, that was sweet. And
That's
then
awesome.
and like every customer was saying "Happy Birthday" to me, and it was kind of nice.
That's a good night. That's a good night.
Yeah, so it's just kind of fun. But I hate my
Well,
birthday.
unfortunately,
Uh,
oh, sorry, I was going to tell you, I got to jump off here in the next few minutes. I didn't know if there's any last minute questions. Sometimes I talk and go in rabbit trails, so I want
oh,
to make sure if there was any other questions before I had to pop off that that you may have had.
oh, well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me. I know you're a busy dude.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, thanks for having me, man. And hopefully we'll get to see you in person sooner than later. So I'll keep you posted. Um, Tin Roof is a pretty wild night. We play August 23rd as a band, and then we have some shows coming up. We're playing Camp Leavenworth uh, on September 21st, I want to say. I
Where
don't know if that's close to you or not. That's
where
in Leavenworth, Kansas. They're doing a big
oh
festival.
why
And
I'm in the Marion, Kansas area.
Merriam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so both of the other two festival dates we're doing. So that would be the Camp Leavenworth, and then there's one in Blue Springs. I don't know which one would be closer to Merriam, to be honest. So we're headlining Blue Springs Fall Festival, I believe, on September 20th. I might have those dates wrong, but we'll be announcing them soon.
Where is the tin roof or whatever it's called?
Tin Roof is in Westport,
Oh, I
and
think
it's like a crazy, like it'll be a crazy packed house. It's fun. It's super fun, but it's a wild party basically from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m.
oh geez.
Yeah, it's a late one too, but it's pretty fun. We have a lot of fun doing that one, but yeah, it's a whole other vibe. That's for sure.
So this is your first time playing there, or you played it before?
No, this will be our second time playing Tin Roof. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's exciting. Well, let me know when those new singles pop out, and
will do.
I will totally play them. And
Awesome, man.
um,
Well, thanks again for having me on. I appreciate it.
oh, you're welcome. Anytime. It was good seeing you, and um, again, I'll let you know when this is out.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll get you the promo pack with all the. It'll have run with it stuff, so you could share that for. I'll get you like a folder that'll have it. I saw the email that you asked for those, and I never got it to you. I apologize.
Oh,
I will send you that
uh,
here when I log off. But
all right, all right.
all right, man. Have a great day.
You too. I'm gonna click
All
off
right,
'cause
peace.
I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to.